Welcome back to the channel, lads. Today we are tidying up some of this welding that Lee has been doing. He still is currently welding up on the driver and the passenger side, but my job here this evening is to basically grind down these welds like you can see, so we can get it ready to put a skite of filler over it. Look, there's no avoiding it, this car is going to need a lot of filler work, so all we want to do is use the angle grinder to get the spot welds down to a point that you can see here now that you can filler over it and kind of disguise what we've done using the filler. So what we've done there is perfectly fine. A lot of difficult shapes here to work with, like this curve, so we're going to be using the angle grinder to get in at these welds, as well with the belt sander that we've got from the guys at Abcon. High here, so we might just get the belt sander to bring that down a wee bit. So a lot of grinding going on here tonight, and just as a tip, if this is something you've never done before and you're maybe thinking about getting into this job and you're watching me using the angle grinder here, word of advice would be, as you're grinding down these spot welds, try to avoid what I'm doing here, using that flat edge. To be honest, you kind of want to be using the side of the disc, not the flat side, that hard edge. The reason why is, as you're grinding down these spots, and if you're using the flat side, what happens is, if you picture the top of your well as a horizontal surface, as you're using that flat disc, it's very difficult for you to actually keep that perfectly flat. So what happens is you end up putting a bit of a slope in your weld, and if you go too far, you've gone too far. You can't correct that. So, but if you use that flat edge, that hard edge of the disc, it's much easier for you to keep that horizontal surface perfectly flat. So as you can see what I'm using here, this is the way you really should be using it. I'm just using the flat side just because of the shape that I'm using, but you do want to go slow with this, take your time little by little. Don't get impatient, and don't go trying to take out a huge amount of the weld too quickly, because if you make one mistake, you can't really correct it. You can put filler over it, but that mistake will always be there. So take your time, slow and steady wins the race. I have to say, these belt sanders from Abcon, look at the finish you're able to get on this, especially on this like curved surface. Like, these are just fantastic for this type of job. That is as good as you're going to get. That's fantastic. So we've got this little difficult piece here, where we can't really get in with an angle grinder or anything like that, but thankfully the guys at Abcon have given us one of their tungsten burrs, so we're going to be using this just to kind of get into this tight area and clean this out. Okay, so it's not perfect, but that's a big improvement compared to what it was. So yeah, these tungsten bores here from Abcon, I switched over to the square-headed one, are really good. They're absolutely fantastic, especially when you're doing this kind of work. So still a little bit of work to do here. Lee has a little bit of welding still to do. He's got to patch this in. You got to figure out this spot here as well. But yeah, the back panel is coming along nicely. We are going to start the filler work on it soon. So Lee is currently at the front of the car there. He's doing a bit of welding on the passenger side. The driver's side is done, and I'm going to start grinding in the welds on that side. So let's jump over there and we'll take a look at it. Okay, so this is the driver's side, and as you can see, was a lot of welding going in. So these are the pieces that we got off a guy over in the UK. Unfortunately, we can't put it done. We'd ask them just to cut it a little bit further, so we need to cut this out as well for the wiring loom. That's the same on the far side as well, if not worse. So this is my job now for the rest of the evening, just get these welds grind down and soon we'll be on to the other. Right, so we're coming to the end of working here today, so this is what I've gotten on the driver's side done. This probably needs a bit more grinding in here with the belt. This is okay all here. And then tomorrow I'm going to work on finishing this side here. Now this is what Lee's been working on, and it's not pretty. But then again, there's really not much we could do with this side. This side here is particularly bad. Yeah, so this piece here is giving a lot of trouble. So we're hoping that if Lee can get this tacked in, I'm just going to have to fill this up and just try and shape that the best I can. Yeah, it's just a lot of rust. There's not much you can do about it. So that's it for tonight. We're going to move on, and we're back out here again tomorrow night. Right, so we are just tidying this up, but again, these belt sanders are just coming in massively in clutch. So huge shout out to the guys at Abcon. I know I've said this already several times in the video, but Jesus, these things are unbelievable at what we're doing here. So, I'm a massive fan of these. I really am. Especially because like we're doing this section here that has the if I can turn the fucking face tracking off. Here we go. We're there we go. Yeah, because like we're working on this section here, which is basically just welds in a straight line. And now I am using the grinder here, to be honest. Now what I'm doing with the grinder is I'm basically taking the majority of the weld off, but like just finishing with the belt sander, it really does make short work of this, and makes things a lot easier. So if you haven't already, lads, I'd definitely be looking into a couple of belt sanders if you're doing this type of job. Right, okay, now we need to figure out, basically cut this hole for the wiring loom, because we didn't get a pillar long enough. So we're just going to basically try and do it by eye, really. You can use a socket, which is the way Lee had advised me to do it, but I'm going to be honest, I'm just going to sketch it out and just do it by eye. So just take a little Sharpie, do it like that. Yeah, that's not bad. We'll take away this, and then we're going to get our tungsten bore and etch that away, and that'll be another job done. Okay, so we're finished with the burr, and we've got it to this kind of a state here. So it's not far off, needs a little bit of a touch up, so I'm going to grab the file and just finish off kind of shaping up this hole. Okay, I think it is pretty good actually. I mean, it's not perfect, but it is pretty good, I have to say. So that's the wiring loom done. This side is pretty much done. I might tidy up this here a little bit more. There's going to be a lot of fillers on this side of the car anyway, so I'm not too worried about that. Need to just touch up here and here, and then we're done with this side, and we go to the passenger side. So we have made a lot of progress on the Volvo so far. The welding is somewhere between maybe 90-95% done. The back is broke on this car, but there's still a long way to go. As you can see, that rear panel is pretty much done. Needs to be spot welded a bit more, needs a bit more welds grinded down, and then it's ready for bodywork. Same with the driver side, it's pretty much done, needs a little bit more TLC, and the passenger side is also in that kind of state as well. So we're getting there. I do feel that the hardest part of this car is behind us. We're now moving on to more important things like getting the car running. It's been sitting in a ditch for the last maybe 12, 13 years, covered in briars, and we've not seen this car run. So that's something that we need to get figured out. So we did decide to take some time away from the other work, get the car running.
Right, go in there and turn it over you. Ignition on and off. Turn her over again. It's not fucking. Doesn't seem to be sense. You, isn't it? Yeah.
Up there.
No, she slipped. Make sure and keep that in on it. Have you? I have it in on it as far as it can go in on it. No, but can't get a pipe out in. It doesn't make any difference. The whole corner is gone.
So we're still trying to get the Volvo to start. It's suspected, we're not even quite sure, but we're thinking it's a sensor back here. Crankshaft sensor is the common fault with these cars, but the problem is that there's just absolutely no space to actually work with. Like, it is so tight behind this engine. There's just nothing to work with.
Jesus Christ.
So we've just basically removed a couple of bolts here, a bit of a plastic fitting here for the vent. You can kind of see it here in this mess, and then a couple more up there. So we're hoping that once we take this center unit out, we'll be able to cut through the bulkhead and get at the bolts that we need for the sensor. And the worst thing is that even when we do get this unit out, it doesn't guarantee that that sensor is the issue. We are taking a bit of a risk by doing this, but
oh, Jesus Christ!
That's not going well. Right, so just to kind of explain to you, because I don't know if you fully understand, but the sensor that we need to get to is down here. And the problem is that traditionally the sensor sits like this, and there's a bolt that sits down perpendicular to it, just like that, down into the gearbox. We seem to have the only fucking sensor that instead of going straight down like this, it goes like this and down. So it's got that 90-degree bend on it. And instead of being bolted to the gearbox, it's bolted back to the block. It's bolted back to the block, so it's bolted in like this. So obviously we can't really get at it. We tried to get a wrench down at it, but it keeps slipping, so that's why we're going to have to try and cut this bulkhead and try and come in through the fucking car. So that's the joys we're at the minute. He is preparing his tools like a doctor preparing his scalpel. I'm sure you're going to take a very delicate approach to this.
Oh, there's going to be a lot of care.
I don't believe a fucking word of that. So that's the situation we're in at the minute. That is what we're doing. And again, there's no guarantees. So we're just going to have to see how we go. Seems okay from here anyway. Seems all okay from here. Are you pulling in? Have you got the piece out?
Try and actually knock it down. Would I get it? Or the back of the thumb.
I think so, yeah, push it back in. I think it's going to be handier.
I'm wondering if I get it knocked down or go down.
So after a lot of trouble, we finally got the sensor out. We took a couple of photos and we put it up onto the Irish Volvo owners Facebook group. So shout out to these guys. We got a ton of replies, incredibly helpful. And then we got this message from one particular man who sent me his phone number. I rang him and it actually turned out he is less than an hour away from where we're based. So myself and
Yes! Right, get the fuck over here till we get on the road. Now. Brilliant.
I mean, lads, so we're on the road. So of course you know the crack with the sensor. We couldn't find the sensor. Just before I left the house this evening to head for the shed, we received a text message from a Marty lad who is not terribly far from where we are, and he has exactly what we're looking for. So we have dropped the tools, we're in the van, it's pissing rain, it's 8 o'clock at night, and we're heading about an hour drive away from where we are to pick up this sensor. So fingers crossed he'll have absolutely everything that we need and we can get this Volvo on the road. So that's where we're at. This is what you have to do sometimes, is to get bits for old fucking piece of shit Volvos.
Ready for road.
Ready to rock and roll. Oh, you got snacks as well?
I'm getting packagely hungry. I got your hippo there as well, I don't know what
Oh, fucking Kinder Hippo!
Oh yeah.
Oh, lad.
I think it's a white one though, it doesn't look like the normal one. It's alright, it's still
White one. Do you know what? We're not saying it was that. No, Kinder Hippo. Good shout. So off we headed up the road, feeling nervous and excited to pick up this sensor. This could be the making of the car, or this could be the end of it altogether.
Not coming out underneath any, is it?
No. She's going in and she's staying in.
Kind of the mission, alright.
That is what you want. Just like that.
Like that.
Just like that.
Right.
Oh my god.
That's it.
She fire up again?
Well, she should go again.
Oh my god.
Fire smooth, isn't she?
Quiet as well, like.
I cut the belts off today. I don't want it to only warn them with them off.
Yeah. Fucking that's brilliant, lad. So I think that's where we're going to leave it for this week. Thank you very much for watching. Thankfully the Volvo is now running, it's starting, so crisis averted, timeline is back on. So from next week on we have a small little bit of welding to do, and then it's kind of moving over onto the bodywork side of things. So we're getting there, lads. We are getting there. We're making good progress. So thank you very much for watching. If you're not already, please do give us a subscription. If you did enjoy this video, please go ahead and give us a wee like. It's the best way to support us. So thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.